These are the opinions of three guys. No, not special guys, not rich guys, not even extraordinarily handsome guys. Just three regular guys who said we ain't famous, but fuck it. Let's start a podcast.
It's just different.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Welcome to the We Ain't Famous podcast.
I thought we were going to get Ken Kneff again. Don't do it.
No, I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it this time.
Like I felt the warm-up.
I'm going to give myself 3 Ken Kniffs this session. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it
Drink every time Jason does a Ken Kniff.
I'm going to keep it at minimum. Welcome, everybody, to the We Ain't Famous podcast. Hope you all are joining us. We're going to be going off on a couple different topics. Got some Am I the Asshole from Reddit. Want to see you guys in the comments. Tell us, what do you think? Are they the asshole or are they not the asshole?
Yeah, we're trying out a new format from what we normally do, just to kind of see what is the best thing moving forward for We Ain't Famous. And just in case you haven't realized, Bryce isn't here, so it isn't 3 guys on today. And our friend over there, she's not a guy, she's a she, a real she. Not
Lady socks.
Not like she's a cisgendered she. This is our friend, Miss Morgan. She's going to be here to determine if these people in these scenarios are assholes or not.
Are we ready?
Explain it to them, Jay. What is we ain't an asshole?
We need that or no?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. What are we going to be doing, Jason? We got a giveaway. You want to go ahead and intro it?
Yeah. So we're doing a giveaway. I'm sure you guys can see it on our screen. We're going to be giving away 2 tickets to the
Dia de las Luces Dobre Two Rings, featuring music by Shrimp Chaperone on Saturday, April 1st, 2023 at the Rialto Theaters. We'll be giving away 2 tickets so you can watch a bunch of Mexican guys whoop each other's asses.
Basically, Saturdays on South 6th Avenue, basically, just with masks. That's what it is. How do they win the tickets?
So just comment, like the page, and we will pick somebody to give away the 2 tickets to. You got a chick who you're thinking about locking lips with later. Well, you can start off by watching a couple guys lock their sweaty bodies together, and then later on, maybe you get lucky.
I don't know if that's a good idea, but we'll workshop that.
That's not a good date, like date night. Come on,
first
babe.
Date? Nah.
Let's go watch some sweaty guys.
No.
Rub each other
Third
up.
date. That's third date
Third
material.
Date?
Yeah.
Give me a quick second. I got some of our fans saying, "Hey, I can't find you guys." So give me a quick.
What do you mean? We put the stream out all over the place. Anyway, let me explain while Jason talks to these fans of ours, all 3 of them. Well, actually, Christine's one of our normal fans, and she's here, so I don't know who the fuck's watching this.
and she's been on. She's been.
Yeah,
with
this
us
is
before.
and if you're a We Ain't Famous viewer, you know Christine's been on before. Probably one of our best shows ever. So you're in for a good one today. So, in case you're not familiar with Reddit, because I'm bad at it, Jason tried to introduce me to it. I end up in the weirdest fucking places when I go on there. But people on Reddit will put up scenarios in their life situations where you got into with a family member or somebody, and you're trying to determine if you were an asshole for how it all went down, right? I've been the asshole plenty of times. My nephews call me Uncle Asshole, right? So I know what it's about. So basically, Jason's going to lay out the scenarios, and we're going to basically talk through them. And most of the time, Christine's going to agree with women, and most of the time, I'm going to agree with men. All right.
All right. So we're going to start off pretty easy. I just kind of want to lay out the whole how it's going to work. So we're going to start off with a really, really easy one, just to get so you guys get a pretty good feel in it, and then I want to move on to a more complicated one.
All right,
let's do it.
For anonymity purposes, I will be saying this entire Reddit post in King Kniff's voice.
Well, who are you? Oh, because he's like 3 scenarios, the whole fucking scenario.
The whole post. I'm going to read the whole thing in King Kniff's voice.
You're out of your mind.
Okay, I'm
so
joking.
Wait. Who are you trying to keep anonymous? They're usually pretty anonymous, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty for the
Just
most.
don't say their name.
Yeah.
Can we put?
I'm not going to put their.
Can we say like Reddit user?
I'm not going to put the Reddit username in there. I'm not going to say that.
Why not? Maybe they want to tune in. They put it out in the social media world.
Go to Reddit, and you'll be good. You'll be able to find it. It's real easy.
Whatever.
Anyways, all right.
We're gonna talk about
so
that.
we're gonna start off real easy with this one. So title: Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend not to wear Indian clothes to work? That's
Okay.
okay. But let's listen to what he has to say. So I, 27 male, and I'm American, and my girlfriend, 28 female, is British and ethnically half Indian.
Okay.
She's not religious and culturally very British, speaks with a British accent, etc. We live in the US and recently started living together. She works at a tech company. I noticed about half the days when she goes to work, she dresses in Indian clothes. Even her heels are shiny gold or silver. They look like stuff that's like typical. It shows a photo here, but I'm not going to show you guys.
When we say Indian, do we mean red dot or feather?
Indian.
We're talking
India.
red.
India.
Yeah.
Not Native American.
So when you said gold, they're like, what does that have to do with being Native American?
I don't think you can say red dot and feather.
I'm a Jay-Z fan. That's how he says
that
it.
makes you the asshole, man.
Yeah, I'm already an asshole.
You're bad. Okay. So anyways, so she looks really cute. I think it's fine for party or festival, but it looks really out of place in the American workplace. I have Indian friends in America, and the women dress Western here except for festivals. I told her to tone it down a bit as it looks out of place in America, and she might face discrimination, and some of the hills look too unprofessional for the workplace. I work at a bank, and everyone is dressed really formal. She got upset, told me she will wear whatever she pleases, and is acting cold towards me. I did not push it as ultimately it is her choice, and she can face the consequences. Was I the asshole here? Hold on. She does not even like India and criticizes the place all the time and the politics there. And she identifies as British.
Okay.
I thought this was the easy one. This one
feels easy to me.
There's some turns there because that's a sudden thing.
The last part is what really makes it difficult.
There's more to that. But go. I'll lay mine out last.
So this is simple. She's an adult woman, and he has no business telling her what to say or what to wear. Now, I think it would be a little bit different if maybe it was revealing what she was wearing, because I think you need to have respect for your partner. Not saying that you need to ask permission, but I think there's conversations that need to happen if, you're wearing clothing that is potentially offensive or shows a lot of skin, something like that. And that's more of a respect thing, but none of that exists here. She's an adult. What she's wearing is appropriate for the workplace. I kind of feel like he's trying to whitewash her a bit, saying like other people of the same ethnicity are wearing Western clothes. Yeah. Well, that's their choice. He has no business. And, he acts like he's in it to protect her, saying that she's going to be discriminated against. Nah, if she's discriminated against, you need to defend her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go?
No, go ahead. Okay. I'm the middleman here.
To me, he's projecting a couple things just so he can feel okay, right? So, one, it does, like the one thing about other women dressing Western that are Indian, that's their business, that's their choice. It does feel like he's trying to culture cleanse her in a way. Like, you're in America now, you should act American, right? Or I am dating a British girl. I wasn't interested in dating an Indian girl, is how it kind of comes off. One side of it I get. Like, if you truly are worried about her being affected negatively by it, even though she's chosen to do that already, I get wanting to protect your partner. But in the end, if that's what she chooses to do and that's how she chooses to go about it, it's her business. Like, Christine hit most of it on the head too, because to me, my main thing I heard is like the cultural cleansing part. And the other thing is this. It's like when he's like, she doesn't even like India. But the hard part is I can criticize America, but I'll still wear an American flag T-shirt. You can be critical of something you're still part of, or she's Indian. She's not India. She's of a race that comes from that place. Doesn't mean she has to love the place. She can still have pride for the race that she is, right? It's no different than someone saying Rendell's only a eighth Mexican. Why does he act like he has Mexican pride? Because I can choose to. It's my damn business.
Yeah, and
if I chose to hate, then I should be scrutinized for hate. But you shouldn't be scrutinized for love.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to like add on to one point you made there is, that he wants to protect her. And I just feel like, I mean, we all come across this scenario, I think, especially as parents, when your kids want to go out, looking stupid, wearing rain boots and shorts and whatever. And you have to make that decision about, do you change yourself to fit in with the world, to avoid that type of negative interaction. And I think in a lot of cases the answer is no. Now, if you're out there being an asshole, then you need to conform a little bit and be a bit more sensitive. But that kind of reminded me when my son was young, he wanted to buy a pair of gold glitter Vans. And I didn't let him because I thought he was going to be made fun of. And in retrospect, I should have taught him how to deal with negative attention, as opposed to changing him.
See, now I feel like a jerk because this takes it to this is where it takes it to another place, different from the scenario. I will not let my son, and I'm going to get crucified for this.
Oh my God!
I will not my son wear sequins shirts. I don't give a damn if it turns into Captain America or not. I could give a rat. It doesn't. Little boys don't need to be wearing sequin shirts. There's so many other hero shirts. Why does my son got to wear a sequence one?
But is that because you're worried about how other people will perceive it, or is it just something that you feel boys shouldn't do?
I just feel like it's one of those things, and I hate to even look at it this way because I don't like the overall. I just made fun of it the other day where people are like, "There's a goal to make men more feminine." I just don't feel like that's not a material that's typically boyish that all of a sudden is being tried to be. It's just corny to me in a way, and I try to make and that's the hard part. I'm forcing what I think is cool on my child, but he watches He-Man because I wanted him to watch He-Man. He watches the new He-Man though, right? But I do push my views at this point on my child. Now when we get to the point where he's makes his own decisions, or he makes some decisions where I'm like, it is what it is. Like Gabby's Dollhouse, that doesn't feel like an especially boy show to watch, but he loves Gabby's Dollhouse. So whatever, bro. Do you? Well, let's watch Gabby. All right.
Just question though, like how would you address it? Has he ever asked, like, Daddy, I like this shirt. Can I have it? And you said no, it has sequins.
He's not necessarily. My wife has pointed out, like, look at that shirt. No, it's the sequin shirt. It's not happening.
How would you address it if he told you, hey, some boy at school had this shirt? And it, this like the little kids.
I just try to redirect him, like, look, but this shirt right here is cooler. I'm not going to tell him because, and this is hard because I've gotten this conversation before. This is going a whole different place. As a male, no male that's being honest is going to say they're okay, that they want their kid. They're supposed to be a boy. And this is being super honest. I don't want my son to choose to be homosexual because it's tough.
Do you think it's a choice?
You at some point you make the decision to say, hey, I'm gonna deal with the consequences of how this is because it's rough. People are gonna judge you. People are gonna be rude to you. At the same time, I don't come from the thought of if my son at some point I'm his dad forever. I'm supporting you your whole damn life, even if it's in high heels. Could give a flying fuck. But at the point where it's an opportunity to influence what you are, I'm not going to push you in a direction unless at some point you're showing me that's the direction you were meant to go in. Like at some point where you tell me, Dad, I feel like I was meant to be a girl. All right, let's do it. Well, this is what's going to come with it. I just want to make sure you understand. And I'm going to ride with you, but this is what's going to come with this. Cool? All right, let's do it then.
So there was a study, right? So let me just get you said make a choice to be homosexual. Right?
To make the choice to tell the world that that's what you are. To make the choice to
make the choice to honor who you are, right? Because you're just who you are. You never made a decision in your life, I'm not going to be attracted to men. I'm going to go ahead and, be attracted to women. You just were attracted to women. So it's not about making a choice of whether or not you are. It's about whether or not you're going to. I mean, I know this phrase is like overused,
deal with the criticism of the world,
but like live authentically. Yeah. This is how I feel, and I think it's incredibly brave for people to live to their true selves, regardless of all the criticism and whatever else is going to come with that.
So, did you know there was a scientific study that came out recently that said that they can link homosexuality to DNA genetics?
That's crazy.
That you are genetic.
I don't feel
you genetically inherit There's a gene that you inherit that makes you more probable to be homosexual.
It makes sense. I feel like growing up as a kid, I had friends like I didn't have any direct friends. Mostly like there was one specific kid. It was a friend of mine's brother, but he acted more like girls acted. He played with the girls. He did everything they did, and it was natural to him. It wasn't like any forced thing. It's just how the kid was, right? And so I feel like we always knew. And then later on, like as an adult, I realized that he was. But I'm like, we knew that the whole time as kids. And I grew up in the point in time where you had a gay uncle, but no one called him your gay uncle. Like he just your uncle. You know your uncle was different. He never brought girls around. Every once in a while there was a dude with him, right? You notice that very early in a person.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we just need to acknowledge that sexuality, gender expression, all of these different things, like everything else, is a spectrum. You know, I think
the damn spectrum.
I do. I think it's a spectrum. I think you have people who are only attracted to one gender, whether it's their own or the other, and you have a lot of people that are attracted to various different things. And I think things are becoming incredibly complicated because we're trying to label all of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it needs to be labeled. I think, you know, if you're close to me, then it's worth it for me to explain to you maybe like what my preferences are. But I just don't think we need to identify as, you know, I'm cis
frog.
And
all these things.
Have you guys seen that one?
What?
They identify as frog.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like as a frog, like the creature?
No, that's their pronouns, frog.
What does that mean?
That's not a pronoun.
They feel like yes, it is.
A frog.
Don't you say it's not a pronoun?
No, that's a noun. That's not a pronoun. It's like when people say, I want to.
And here's the thing. I get that you're saying that you are neither nor, but when people say they are they, it feels like you're more than one person.
Okay, let me hold on.
It really throws me off.
I've been waiting to make this argument. So somebody forgets their sweater at a park, right? You're walking there with your kid. You see somebody's forgotten their sweater.
Uh-huh.
What do you say? Someone left their sweater. It's one person. Their sweater.
But okay.
Oh my gosh! I wonder if they know they left their sweater here.
But I don't say
we do plural pronouns all the time for singular people. It's not people make it into such a big deal.
It's the way it's used though. So when I'm talking to you, and I think that's what it is. I don't know anybody outside of famous people who have that pronoun preference, right? So if I'm talking directly to you, when I say your name, I'm trying to think of instances where I'm talking to Jason or talking about Jason where I wouldn't say him. So instead of saying, you know, I like Jason, I like him. But
I like
Jason,
them.
I like them.
Yeah, I think it's
maybe is it more because you're just not used to it?
I think it's an adjustment, but I think you know, a lot of people who are non-binary or whatever it may be, I think they're very open to letting people learn and make mistakes. I do think sometimes it gets out of control. I saw this one individual that said every other pronoun, call me she, and then every other one them.
No, you're tripping.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. We're gonna have.
I'm trying to think. There's certain instances where honestly I just can't. And as much as I want to be supportive, there's just certain times where I'm like, bro.
But if it was somebody that you cared about, that you saw in your day-to-day life,
in general.
Yeah, but I'm talking about somebody you have a personal relationship. Wouldn't you get over being uncomfortable?
No, it's not about being uncomfortable. It is about just not agreeing. Like for me, when I feel like I get it. You change sexes, but I can never necessarily look at you as you became a woman. I can't look at you as the same way I look at my mom. You're different than she is. Have you changed to a woman? Yes. But are you going to tell me I'm a woman as much of a woman as she is? No, you're not. You're not.
Well, what makes somebody a woman?
Can you make a baby? Can you have babies?
No, you can't. You can't put it in that box because a lot of women are not able to have babies.
They can't have babies because of medical reasons, but they have the capability to have babies. They just have a complication. Mm-hmm. There's a difference. That's like, to me, you're not going to make me devalue my mother, my sister, or to make you feel included. And I'm not trying to devalue you anyway. Either. I'm just looking at you. I have to look at you different.
But why does it devalue?
In the same way. If I'm looking at you the same, you should be able to compete in sports against women, and that should not be allowed.
Can I intervene real quick?
Yeah.
What?
So just to affirm back on your conversation, when you had mentioned they forgot their shirt. There's something. They is not. It's. I don't believe it's the THEY as in they are.
Yeah, but they forgot their showing ownership. But instead of saying he forgot his shirt, I would say, oh my gosh, they forgot their shirt. Or like,
I don't know if it's a he or a he.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a minute. You might just ram me into a truth right there. We don't know if it's a he or a she.
You come up to somebody with a dog. What's their name? Because you don't know if it's a boy or a girl. You just say they.
So, but that almost feels insulting too, though.
It's already in our language.
But you say, what is their name?
It's to say
right?
To be said correctly. It's what is their name? THEIR.
Correct.
Yeah, there.
Not they.
But
THEY.
But her reasoning is still right.
But they forgot their sweater.
Because I can't
both.
say his and I can't say her because I don't know what it is. But I feel like by you saying that's what you are you telling me you don't know what you are?
That's valid too.
I don't think it's that they don't know what they are. I think it's that they're
You
neither.
don't feel that you're either one.
They're neither. And, I don't know if this has more to do with, I've always kind of wondered this, and I haven't had an opportunity. I don't have any close trans friends.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of wondered if it has to do with the boxes that we put genders in. Men are this.
Like the way we are?
Men don't wear sequins. Women do. And, that's just like one tiny example, but obviously it expands.
Even though when I make fun of 80s people, they wear sequins like a mug. In the 70s and 80s.
Obviously expands, but I almost wonder, if it's not so much the gender, but what all is encompassed in being either gender.
I just wonder in the decision, whoever was initially said, I don't want to be defined, therefore this is what I want to be called. What was their line of thinking when they did it? But like I said, overall, my whole thing is always the same. If you're choosing to do you, and no one else should be able to tell you what that is. And unless it negatively affects them, they shouldn't have a negative opinion about it. So I don't have a negative opinion about it, but there are things where I'm like the one thing I'll never agree with, a person born as a male has no business doing any physical sport against a person born as a female. It's not competitive. It's not possibly going to be competitive. Like even I think when I was watching the thing with with Serena Williams, and they were talking about you're the best tennis player in the world, and she was like, no, she's like, because are you saying even men? She's like, I couldn't beat men. She's like, I would get destroyed by men. It's a completely different game when played by a male. It is different, and it's like saying, you know what? I changed into a woman. I'm gonna be able to have babies like a woman. No, you can't, bro. You can't, and it's okay. It's fine. And my thing is you're not going to change what I define my sister, my mother as to be able to for you to feel comfortable in that space. But it doesn't mean, I'm not saying, bro, you're a god no matter what. No, I'm not going to call you a god. That's disrespectful. You chose to be a girl.
I heard somebody, and I have mixed feelings on this, but people who are born biologically as women have recently started to be referred to as cis. I don't know what that actually means, but cis women.
Cisgendered women.
Yeah. And I listened to how somebody explained it because I'm interested to know. I don't identify myself as a cis woman. I don't feel like I need to do that. I've identified as a woman my whole life, and that's probably what I'll continue to do. But from my understanding is that women is the umbrella, and then under that you have cis women, or you have trans women, or, various things. And so, when you're talking about like who you identify as woman, you're talking specifically about the cisgender category.
What is the male version of cis?
It's still cis
yeah.
male. They
Cis
call
male.
you a cis het male.
What is
cisgendered
heterosexual
male?
So cis means what?
I have no idea.
It means cis.
Like sister?
No,
Like
it's
cis.
CIS.
So if it's under
it's CIS.
So if it's under an umbrella, why do we get offensive if we call them the capital of the umbrella? If we're saying okay, it's under the umbrella of being a woman, then why do you get offended when I call you a woman?
I don't think they get offended when you call them a woman.
Who's offended when
they
they
don't
call
get
them a woman?
I don't think transgenders get offended by getting
No. What I'm saying is like, okay, if you're a male, but do you feel some type of way? Do you fall under the male side, or do you fall under female side?
If you called me, if you're like, oh, he's a cisgendered hetero male, I'm like, bro, I'm just a
like,
male.
did you just call me a sissy?
I'm like, I don't.
But I mean, that's the thing is like you can
You're making my life too complicated. Yeah, you do what you do again. My problem is, I can't. You can do whatever you want to do, but it should have no effect on me. And I don't mean that in a standpoint of in any way of negativity.
Correct.
You choosing to have
I'm
change
seeing Rendell's side.
and have a gender difference is fine. It's no big deal.
Just don't make me
Just
have
don't
to
start
play the
changing
game.
what I have to do and I got new pronouns because you decided to change pronouns.
Well-
like then in the same way, I see the same thing with race relations. I'm not the type of person, like, I have people ask me, like, can I braid my hair because they're white? I'm like, bro, that ain't none of my
that's over the-
that's none of my business.
Yeah.
But you know
your
what?
choices are your choices. My choices are my choices. Now, can I tell you that I'm going to tell you that there isn't going to be that person who really they just don't like you. Period. That it's going to say something. Yeah, it's going to go that way. I'm not going to be that person because I go by the motto of do what you like. As long as it doesn't negatively impact me, why should I care? Why should I have an issue?
That's the right attitude, is that you can't come into a space and demand that everybody acknowledge your opinions on cultural appropriation, which I think are incredibly complicated, on gender, which can be very complicated. You can't come into this space and require me
To adapt to you.
to think the same way you do. It just doesn't work like that. Now, I think if people could just overall just acknowledge that there are differences, and just like you said, if it is not hurting somebody, now purposely misgendering somebody who is trans, I think is hurtful, especially in like a professional setting. Yeah. So there is definitely some gray there, but I think we just need to acknowledge that there's different perspectives. And, again, if it's somebody who's close to me, then I'm gonna make the effort to adapt to that, to make you comfortable because I care about you. But I'm not going to change my entire vocabulary.
I think the hard part about it, though, really is when people swap back and forth. Like we talked about Demi Lovato like ages ago in the prehistoric era of We Ain't Famous, where she went to she.
That was the
Season
last
one.
episode I was on.
Yeah, they went to they them, then they went back to she her, and it's like
I think she's back to she.
But anyways, let's cap this off because I want to get on to our next topic. Before we move forward, Rendell, let me ask you a real quick question. Right. What are your pronouns?
He, him. Is that how it goes?
That's right.
Morgan, what's your pronouns?
She, her.
And if I didn't stop trying to, if I didn't stop saying the word that I'm trying to now stop saying, I would say my other pronouns.
So my pronouns.
Don't do that. What's yours, Jada Letta?
No, my pronouns are she, them, as in, let me she them titties.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
I do got a question though.
Yeah.
Out of the first case scenario, do you agree or are you not agreeing on who's an asshole?
He's the asshole.
He's an asshole.
Asshole.
Okay, so-
Period. That's it.
Just to recap, because if anybody's kind of came in late, if anybody's come in within the last 15 minutes, they have no clue what the question was.
Yeah, homeboy's an asshole. That's it.
So our guy was our guy's girl is Indian, red dot, and she likes to go to work in Indian-like attire. She is Indian, but also British, and he feels that she should not go to work dressed like she's Indian because it creates unnecessary attention. We have determined that said fella is an asshole.
Hit him with the bam, bam, bam.
We shouldn't have to tell you to hit him with the bam, bam, bam.
All right, I'll take that one. All right, guys. So I want to move on to this next one real quick. Hold on. I got fans texting me. All right, so
Not
let's
the
move on to
fans.
this one. This one
How's
is
Christine texting you from right here? Who's it, Blanca?
I got that T9 under the table.
Yeah. All right, so check it out. This one's actually a pretty easy one, but it's going to create some pretty good conversation here, okay?
All right.
Yeah.
So am I the asshole for deliberately embarrassing my father-in-law in front of his family?
You're already the asshole.
No, let's hear it.
Listen.
Let's hear what
Okay.
happened.
And Rendell, I'm
You said you deliberately.
you're going to. I think
Swap?
you're going to go off on this one right here.
All right.
So I, male, 36, am absolutely not what you would call a handy kind of guy. I can build an IKEA flat back, and I can follow a YouTube tutorial to find out how to declog my washing machine. But I don't have any what my father-in-law, who is a male, 60 years old, would call worthwhile skills. I have to give him the credit that he's due and say that he's knowledgeable about plumbing, joinery, and electrics. He's often helped me and my wife with matters in our home, leaky pipes, some plastering work, etc., and we've always been grateful and appreciative of his efforts. My skills are more IT based. I work in this field for a living, which means I often get saddled with the old chestnuts such as, can you fix the printer? Internet's not working. To me, these are simple issues to fix, but he's very IT illiterate. I never make a big deal about this because it's the least I can do to repay his help. However, he spares no opportunity whatsoever to take shots at my lack of worthwhile skills. He'll say, often in front of family and friends, that I'm not a real man
Oh,
or
damn.
that I'd be useless in an emergency, those sort of things. Because he does this a lot, he does this stuff a lot. Because he does a lot of stuff that I generally suck at, I bite my tongue and don't say anything to him. This week changed that. We bought my daughter this massive climbing frame swing set for her birthday. My wife and I were able to assemble most of it, but the last few bits, as well as anchoring it to the ground, was giving us some issues. My brother happened to stop by to visit, so he helped, but my wife also phoned father-in-law to come and help. We got the job done, but again, the commentary continued, which was especially insulting considering my brother was there. Yesterday we were up visiting him there. I was there, as was my wife, his wife, and my wife's brother and his wife. He asked me if I could look at his laptop as he had some sort of virus. When I fired it up, it was one of those ransomware programs. A camera was showing the webcam feed on a fake police website. I was able to get his computer somewhat back to normal after a while, which took longer than he'd have liked, according to his comments. While I was bringing it back, he kept badgering him about where had the virus come from. As I perused through his internet history, it revealed a lot of porn. Nothing particularly embarrassing, but probably information that he wouldn't have wanted to share. It was out of my mouth before I had even finished processing the thought. Loads of these porn websites have a lot of viruses and dodgy stuff. I'll get you a membership for my Norton account. Could have cut the tension with a knife. His wife looked super angry and sister-in-law stifled a laugh. We left shortly after that, but on the way home, we heard the two of them arguing. My wife gave me both barrels in the car, but said he is always giving me hassle and I keep my mouth shut. Things have been frosty ever since, and I wonder if I went too far. Am I the asshole?
Ooh.
I'm going to let Christine go on this one first because you went first last time. So what do you think?
My initial thought is, yes, you're an asshole, but he deserved it. You know, I think it's a hard line because especially when we talk about like the younger generation and the older generation, right? So I think in the older generation, what's really valued is like hands-on, boots in the ground, dirt on your hands kind of work. And that's not necessarily what's actually valuable today, especially like in the workforce and stuff. I think when you're talking about family, especially your spouse's family, if it's your own, maybe it's a little different, but there needs to be decorum because that's a relationship that's going to impact your spouse, your children, you know, and either you're going to stop talking or you're going to have a frosty relationship until Pops passes away. So that's not a good scenario. But with that being said, people need to be called on their shit. You know, you can't, I mean, it's 2023 and
Turnabout is fair play.
you can't, you can't just say racist shit and asshole shit and expect that somebody doesn't call you on it. So yeah, you're kind of an asshole for doing it, but it was deserved and I support it.
So first off, I can't necessarily completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Like I have that scenario, but lucky the person that I have like that's not an asshole. He's very nice. My wife's dad can basically build an entire house. Like he's very handy. When he comes down to visit, he's basically coming to do like helps and does projects. He put my floor in. I was supposed to help him. It got mad complicated. I just held shit by the end, right?
Held the flashlight.
But
it's daytime.
Give me the fucking 10 millimeter.
I couldn't imagine him. Like I try to put myself in that position. He's handy like that. If he started like saying I wasn't a man, the person who will more likely do this is my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is very like, you should be able to do these things. This is what men do. This is what little boys should be. Remember, he posted one time that playing video games with your kid is not spending quality time. You should be teaching him how to ride a dirt bike, right? And to me, I was like, I sent him this video of this guy who talks about his dad always being there to help him beat Bebop and Rocksteady in the Ninja Turtle game. And it's funny because me and my son play that game together. I feel like the old guy had it coming. But at the same time, you could have made him look dumb between you and him. You created a much bigger situation by saying it in front of everybody, because what it is you wanted to embarrass him the way you felt embarrassed. But what you may have also, you may not just embarrass him, you may embarrass your wife, you may embarrass your mother-in-law, who all didn't do anything. They just were innocent bystanders who caught the crossfire. So still, he's an asshole to me. And I do feel like there's a reason why. It wasn't like an asshole for no reason, but I still feel like you're a little bit of the asshole.
Could have been a little less public.
See, and for me, I would have to side with Christine. Like, if you're going to call me some shit in front of my brother, you don't expect me not to say nothing to you. Like, I'm going to fucking say something. And maybe it's just me, you know, I'm not like in your guys' positions, right? You guys are married, you guys have the in-law things, right? So you guys have the fine line. Like, when I was married, it was like my in-laws only. Like, that was it. That's all I was around. So there wasn't really a fine line that, you know, but for me personally, I feel like he deserved it. Like, if you're going to, I'm married to your daughter, right? And you're just going to be an asshole to me. And then you're going to ask me to fix your internet? No, motherfucker, get your own modem. Go fix your modem. Go fix your printer yourself.
Well, the hard part is this. As you age and the people around you age, the older people age, you kind of just have to give them a buffer, because you realize when you get to a certain age, you just say whatever the fuck you feel. And even though you shouldn't be saying it, the further you get on, the more ornery old man you get, the more loose lip you get. There's times like my grandma says shit sometimes where I'm like my grandma threw a chair during Thanksgiving at motherfuckers. Yeah. Didn't no one say shit. Okay. Everybody shut up. Why? Because they old. You gotta let old people do old people shit sometimes.
And so if somebody's old, we're cool just
now. Young people. Here's the thing. Me and my brother-in-law says me and him will talk shit all day to each other. But that's the relationship too. And he's not necessarily going to be embarrassed by anything I say, nor am I going to be embarrassed by anything he says. And more of it's just general shit talk. If he's like, you know, you should be able to do with your hands, right? And in a weird way, he inspired me to start learning to be more. Both people did. Made me want to become more handy. So what he should do, what I would try to do before that even got to that point, build a relationship with him. Like, look, I do appreciate that you have the ability to do this. How about instead of just coming over and doing it, I learn from you and you learn from me. Maybe I'll teach you how to do stuff, like the stuff that you need me to do. I'll enable you, because it is, as much as you think that it's an important skill for you to be able to fix things, when I fix your computer, that's fixing something. That's righting a wrong in your life for you with my skill set. Mm-hmm. You may not see value in my skill set because your skill set is of your time and my skill set is of mine. We could both sit here criticizing each other, or we could come together and become Superman.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, in this case, did the father-in-law attempt to include him? Because like my dad was a mechanic in the Army and has a lot of skills in that area, and he has never once, put down my husband for not having those skills, because we didn't buy our first house until about 2 years ago. So we, when you're renting, you don't need you don't need a lot of fixing skills, and he's never done that, but he's always offered to show us or walk us through how to do something, how to change this or that. And I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think Pops definitely needed to be put in his place a little bit. But I agree that, especially the mother-in-law, you don't know. I mean, we don't know their background, if they're religious and stuff, and how. Like, how damaging is that? Right, because like in some families that would be a funny thing, and some it would be devastating. So
yeah, like me and my family, we openly talk about watching porn. So I'm like, that wouldn't even be. We like, okay, whatever.
Old Pops porned up the laptop.
Like my first porn came from my grandpa, so I'm like, I know my grandma knew.
Do you want to explain that?
Well, Playboy books. Like in his little gym, me and my cousins would find his little Playboy stash and be like, oh, look at this, right? But I know, and I woke up. There's times I would stay at my grandma's and wake up, and he'd be in there. I walk out, he'd be watching porn, be like scrambling, right?
Oh my
but
God.
I knew there's no way my grandma didn't know. So maybe it's just, again, that's a difference between types of people. Maybe they were like religious, and so it's like, oh my God, Jim.
Maybe it was the mother-in-laws.
that's exactly
flip the switch.
But like, as a matter of fact, as the story got told, I got more times like, your family doesn't know you watch porn. It was like shocking that you're a man who watches porn. I'm more shocked now. I realize that women watch porn too. That's crazy. I didn't really think like that until I was older. I'm like, oh, you guys are nasty too, like us. We're all nasty. But yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
You're going with asshole?
I want one where we damn disagree. In general, we all.
I don't agree. That's the thing. I don't agree with that one. Just because I mean, he earned that. Like that was it. Like if you're gonna come over.
But even if the damage, let's say you caused the divorce of your wife's parents over this, you'd be okay with it?
Yeah, but did you really cause it, or did he really cause it by being deceptive
By hiding
to
porn?
his wife
and being an asshole?
No.
Like
From a man code, you should protect a man's porn stash.
Like if you're gonna divorce somebody over
porn
a
keeps you
porn stash,
porn keeps you from cheating.
Porn stash, yeah. Can we get some porn stashes on the TV real quick?
That's what keeps you doing. It keeps you,
But no, I'm saying, look, if you're gonna divorce somebody over porn. No,
well,
there's
again,
something
but they
deeper.
could be religious.
You
And that
just
could be
need
like
an
a big.
asshole.
That could be a big deal.
What religion?
Huh?
What religion is it?
I'm just saying anything.
No,
Well,
I'm just-
well, you
let's
say
just say-
like,
but
you're not
in
you're
almost
not divorcing
all
over
religions.
porn. You're divorcing over deception, right? In the same way, I was watching this the other day. It's this girl who basically she just takes men's side, and she's popular because she talks bad about women.
Is it that blonde chick?
Yeah.
Fuck that chick.
And
I hate her.
and she's rich as fuck and has very little perspective on real life.
If
She
it's
doesn't
a-
really get how real life works. But she was trying to she was like, it does not make. She's like, because they're always talking about how 80% of women are the ones who file for divorce. It's like, but do you realize what took them to get there? Like, how many more men are cheat than women cheat? I'm sure the number's bigger in men than it is women. So then the woman gets cheated on, and then she files for divorce. She's not the cause of that situation. She affected it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's talking about I think it's stupid and silly that women get divorced because of chores, because a man doesn't do chores. I'm like, what do you know what kind of burden that is? I've stressed my own wife out in times for not carrying my load. And then what you're basically saying is that person is doing everything. They're going to work like you're going to work. They're dealing with the kids like you're dealing with the kids. But then they're cooking, they're cleaning, they're picking up after you because you won't pick up after yourself. And there isn't a reason for the person to be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm over it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times one of the things that gets overlooked in that area too is women should not have to ask their partner to do things.
Oh, that hurt.
Like I
wife said that painfully.
assign chores to my children, take out the trash, clean up your room. My husband should be able to look around our house and determine what needs to be done. Now, if there's a specific thing that I have my little heart set on, something maybe I don't want to do or I can't do, that's different for me to say, hey, when you get a second, can you do X, Y, and Z? But I think that's a big and common problem is that women are running shit. As far as doctor's appointments and all that kind of stuff.
Look at this other way. There's some people there's males that have this problem with women too. I'm just saying they have it. Has to.
They have what problem?
The male, you have an OCD male with a female who's not, and he's clean crazy and she's not. She's like, well, fuck it.
See, but that's a little different too.
Why?
because
male,
if I'm OCD, I cannot expect you to just do it the way that I would do it.
What I mean by
that's
OCD
unfair.
is I just mean you have situations where the girl isn't mostly in today's room, you don't always have women that are like, oh, I'm stereotypical, I clean, I cook. You have the opposite where the male takes on that part, and then after a while he'll feel like, all right, man, I'm doing everything, and you're doing whatever the hell you want. Either way, you're always going to want to, depending on how your relationship is structured, you're going to want to feel like your partner is supporting, and whatever that looks like.
Yep.
Right, if one of you doesn't work, then support from your side is you doing those things, and I go to work. If you don't go to work, now if you have kids, it's different because you can't say, well, you stay home and you take care of the kids. When I come home, you should then do everything else because I just went to work. Mm-hmm. No, because there's a point in time where that person's dealing with the kids. They shouldn't have to be done dealing with the kids, and we're not. Or you should be able to say, okay, I'll handle the kids, and then you do that, or vice versa, and handle that responsibility. But if you have people who are where they're stay-at-home parent, but there's no kid because you're not parenting, but they're at school, your ass should basically do everything because that person goes to work. You should carry the load.
I mean, I just feel like there needs to be. I would agree that I think that's probably fair, but I mean, there needs to be some kind of communication about what this arrangement is going to look like.
Me and him had a big. Let me ask you this question. This is a scenario we talked about coming into deciding to do this. So this scenario is
I have it. You want me to? I have it. I can
let's
read
do
it
that
to
one.
you. Okay.
Let's do that one.
All right. So real quick verdict. You're saying he is the asshole.
He's an asshole.
It's asshole or not?
Asshole, even though I get why he did it.
Agreed, asshole, but it was deserved, and I support
Let's
it.
call it a second-degree asshole.
I'm
first-degree
gonna
asshole.
go not the asshole.
Not-
Old Pops porned up the laptop. He deserved it. Mr. Engineer, what do you think? Give me your verdict, buddy.
Oh, about the
asshole.
I think
Horny grandpa.
honestly, I think in my opinion is that I think if it would have been more of like a one-on-one, hey, look, and I'm lashing back at you, at least like it's one thing that the father, the stepfather in this situation would often lash out sometimes because he became so comfortable that he could lash out in front of other people. I think like they had pointed out at certain points that, hey, look, you know, let's sit down and let's approach this. Hey, man, I really don't appreciate you doing what you're doing or saying what you're saying. I mean, or even if you wanted to lash out, if he was sitting inside like the say like the bedroom or wherever he had his computer at, and it was just him sitting in there, I'd be all like, hey, bro, maybe you shouldn't have this crap on your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, if you didn't have this shit on here, you wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't be over here fixing your mess.
If you weren't beating the dicky, your computer wouldn't be sicky.
Right. You know, that kind of thing. But the thing is that you put a situation where, as you guys had mentioned as well, you're in front of other people. Now, what you don't typically do is lash out. Now you're lashing out more or less, like even Rendell was saying, for an audience, because you're wanting that
Feelings hurt.
Yeah, that instant gratitude of like, take that.
Got you back.
Yeah,
You're doing him when you don't even like him doing him.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just like, as soon as he said, what kind of man are you? Or I hate that shit. That needs to be over with you're not a real man. Shut the fuck up. What even is that?
That's where I thought we were going to go with this, but then we went somewhere else. But
Well,
real
you
quick,
also thought the other one was going to be easy.
Yeah, that's true. Mr.
And that's
Engineer,
the
give me
difference
your
between
verdict.
being
Is
stereotypical,
he
ma'am.
the asshole or
mean,
not? It's a simple.
Answer the
Second degree
question.
asshole.
Yeah, I
Second
think
degree
he's an
asshole.
asshole because he could have handled the situation.
Okay,
he,
cool.
He was an asshole.
We're gonna create ratings.
Real quick.
We need to. This is gonna be a part of the show for real.
Real
I
quick.
need you to, in the comments. We're gonna have these are our different things. It's not all the time you're a flat out asshole. We're gonna have first degree asshole, which means you're an asshole for life. 21 to life. First degree asshole.
Life sentence.
Life sentence. You're an asshole forever for that one. Second degree asshole. You're an asshole, but I understand why you're an asshole.
I completely forgot. There's also another tag you can choose. Everyone sucks here.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Everyone's an asshole.
Okay.
Assholes for everybody.
So we're gonna move on to the next one, but
All right,
real
let's go.
quick before we do, I just want to shout out the viewers real quick. We got the intern watching on fucking live right now.
Man.
Just want to real quick shout out to my nephew. Happy birthday, meal. Obviously he can't watch videos. He don't understand what's going on.
He don't know English yet.
He didn't know English yet.
You couldn't tell me he wasn't watching videos. He was looking at them pancakes like
he
it was
looking
Megan Thee
at them
Stallion
cakes,
buttocks.
Yeah, but I'm gonna teach you. That's the one thing I'm gonna teach.
He was giving
my
him the
kid.
smoky eye.
You know what I'm gonna teach my kid? I'm gonna teach him the Ken Kniff voice, and he's gonna go, yeah.
Let's see, he's trying to sneak it in. That's two.
Anyways, shout out to the people that are watching. I know the intern's watching. Obviously, Char's watching. She's always on with us. Raina's watching. We appreciate you guys. We can't do it. We wouldn't be able to do it without y'all. 4 of you guys.
We'd still do it.
I don't know who the other one is, but somebody else is watching. It actually
Better be my husband.
No, the fourth one might be me, dude.
Jason's on.
Hell yeah. I'll
Fourth
fucking
person
watch it.
is ourselves. It's all of us watching our own stream.
right,
We're
let
doing
me-
this for our own
Yeah,
entertainment.
yeah. Let me pull up that other one real quick.
I can say it.
Because
so let me
this
just say
one,
it. It was basically this.
Raina
So
Luskin's on.
a couple that they're married.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So am I the asshole for calling him a fucking embarrassment?
Whew.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just strong
It's
already.
fire. Okay, I've been seeing my fiance for 4 years now. I came into the relationship with 2 boys. My boys are now 12 and 9. Once a year, me and the boys go to the family's vacation home with the entire family. And up until this year, my fiance did not attend. But now that we are engaged in emerging families, the family asked that he come too. They all get along great with him anyways. I explained to him prior to us coming to our family retreat that our week stay with the family, my kids do not, in capital letters, do not have a bedtime. We do a lot of night activities such as night swimming in the pool, karaoke, searching for cryptids, fires, nightly strolls, peeping through the other neighbors' windows throughout the neighborhood, etc., etc. I just threw that one in there.
Oh, I'm like, what?
God damn.
Fucking
that
creepers.
sounds-
They don't go do it. They
I was
Tom
trying to
activity.
figure out what's a cryptid.
I don't know, dude. I see it on Reddit all the time. So during
What
this,
the crypt did.
I don't know. I ain't afraid of no blood. I'm so tired of throwing up blood. Throw Krypton. What's wrong with
What do you go?
Anyways, so during this week, my kids absolutely do not have a bedtime, and this is how it's always been. I made it clear that bedtime was not to be enforced like it was at home, because this is a vacation and time with the family, and I'm not making my kids miss out on the nightly activities. I also explained to them that due to this, some nights they stay up until easily so late, 11 to midnight.
I thought it was going to be 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm a bad mom.
It's once a year. It's no big deal. So he was fully aware. And please note that this is the only time I've seen this side of him that I will mention below. We get here the first night, and you can tell he's already uncomfortable with the boys staying up past their bedtime. Ooh.
See, wait.
was
I feel like you're trying to sell it hard your way.
He was stressing. Okay, sorry. He was stressing out because the boys were still in the pool.
No, you don't got to be funny now. You just can't be like, ooh. You know what you were doing, motherfucker. Don't like try to change like I'm saying.
Okay.
Don't act like Walter Cronkite now.
He was stressing out because the boys were still in the pool at 10 p.m. and he felt they should be in bed already. I reminded him at least twice that we are not enforcing a bedtime here, and he let it go the first night. The second night, 9 p.m. rolls around and the boys were still up, and my fiance was dropping comments like, "You're lucky you're even still awake right now, shit, little boy. You should be in bed." Saying it right in front of my mom, who looked mortified that he had such an attitude. I told him, cut the fucking shit in private. He tells me he thinks it's fucked up and that it's going to be terrible trying to get them back on their schedule. Never been an issue in years prior. I stood firm and told him, knock it off. Let it go. But then last night, my fiance starts angry sighing every single time. He looks at my kids still awake, and I finally pulled him aside and I told him he was a fucking embarrassment because he keeps saying these comments in front of my family, which leads to awkward silences, judgmental glances his way. I warned him prior to coming here, and if he had an issue that he couldn't control for a week, then he needs to leave because he's ruining our trip and his passive-aggressive, pouty-ass bullshit surrounding a bedtime. He told me I'm an asshole for making him feel like garbage, over wanting to keep the kids on a schedule because it's best for them. That's in air quotes. Am I the asshole here?
Sorry, real quick. How long have they been together?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. And they live together?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're engaged?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's your opinion? I feel like this one is fucking black and white.
Here's
so
the hard
I'm,
part.
I'm curious
You know
to
what's
see
funny
where
about
the
you know what's funny
discussion is.
part? As she said it, I'm like, no, I think I changed my damn
Well,
mind.
just-
No,
Just
and
tell
you
me-
know why? It's because when you, I've noticed like you'll read things and then you're like, no, and then you're like, oh wait, fuck, no, it did say that, didn't it?
Well, what
Cool,
was your
there's
argument?
here's what it was before, right? It was, did he agree to it? Did you just lay it out to him? Because it was like, the way I took it is she told him this is how it's going to be. If you're in a relationship, there's no telling someone how it's going to be. It's a conversation. There's a compromise. That's not how it seemed like it went. It seemed like you're telling him, this is how it's always been, and this is how it's going to be. I don't give a fuck how you feel. And to me, if you're trying to build a good relationship, you can't build a relationship that way. It has to. Even if we disagree, we can't. We either have to come your way, or you have to come mine, or we have to meet somewhere in the middle. The hard part is that those aren't his kids. And the question I ask is her intention for that man to be like a father to her children? Because if he is, then his opinion should matter. You can't ask him to be a positive. Well, positive you can. Anybody should try to do, but you can't tell him to be their father if you're not going to give him the respect of being their like their father.
I would argue that even if he's not their father, right? Even if they still have a relationship with their father, he's an adult in the household. Now, I think when it comes to like discipline and stuff, that does need to fall on the biological parent. But I agree there needs to be discussion. Now, with that being said, I think dude's a bitch, man.
Pouty
like what?
little.
Well,
Like,
but
what?
here's the hard part.
Why
He's
is
Pouty
this?
little bitch.
But Jason sold him like a bitch big time.
He sounded like a bitch.
His
Yeah,
antics
but-
in this, the way he sold it, he made him sound like a bitch, like
But-
heavy.
but
Like the
was
way
acting.
when I read it,
Like what,
I didn't include.
What's he tripping about? It's vacation.
Well, here's what I deduced from it.
Thank
What
you.
I
It is
deduced,
vacation.
I deduced one. Yeah, I get it. And would I normally say? Would I enforce a bedtime? It depends on the
No,
age.
you wouldn't.
No,
Come on.
life is
Okay,
short.
for maybe
That's
for the
crazy.
baby, yeah.
Oh,
but
baby's a
for-
baby.
for-
You go, no, my baby just falls asleep. No, and here's the thing. I'm lying. Because when we go and we can do simple family stuff at like my cousin's house for Thanksgiving, whatever. There's no, you just pass. Now he's gonna pass out at a certain time.
Hell
on his
yeah, he
own,
is.
Right, but I'm
So
not like
late, 11 to
oh,
midnight,
it's
so
7:30.
late.
We must go. It is bedtime. It's not like that. And yes, do I have to keep my kid to a schedule during the week for school? Yes, but during the weekend, I kind of get a little more loosey goosey.
Yeah.
I deduced from this, and now I did change my mind. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
She's not.
Well, I mean,
right?
like,
But
First degree.
she's only an ass. She's only an asshole. Well, because no, this is her asking. She's the asshole. So she is.
Oh.
I don't know. What are we gonna call people when they're not the asshole? What's the
You
Not
are
the
not
asshole.
the father. You
just
are
flat
not
out?
the
There's no
asshole.
like.
you are not the father.
There's not the
She
asshole
runs.
without a reasonable doubt, or is there a reasonable doubt that you're not an
I
asshole?
think if you look at it like this, she says it multiple times, or at least in the text, which is another thing that you got to look at.
She's telling her
when
side of the
she's
story.
saying it in her side of the story, correct? So like her way is this is hey look, this is tradition. This is something we always do. This is the way it is. I'm laying down this foundation. And she's advising him of the foundation. My situation is this is why is he so goddamn controlling at this point in time? Are you going to tell me he's not like that at home? Like, when did this change?
Well, no, because at home they follow their structure, right?
Well,
he's
exactly.
What,
So
my question is this though: is it because this man feels like her kids lack structure and he's provided that for them, and because of that wants them to maintain that level of structure? Like, has he seen the negative effects of how her children act when they don't have this type of structure? Because then that could be what's guiding him to be the way that he is. Now, because to me, it's one of two things. Either you hate her kids and you want them to go away so you can enjoy this vacation, or these kids have a problem with structure. You've given the structure to them, and now you don't want it to fuck up.
maybe he likes them in
Because either you
bed
love
in-
them so much that you're trying to help them, and that's why you're being an asshole.
He wants them in bed early so he can get some nucky. What the hell's
I mean,
wrong with that?
Yeah, that's it. It's red patty night on vacation with the family.
think that-
we,
here's
got,
what I-
we got some comments coming in though. Just wanted to kind of throw it out there. Raina's saying they're here, fucking kids, motherfucker, stop being a bitch. That's what she said. I didn't say that.
But then okay.
The intern says let them enjoy the time away from home. It's okay. It's fine. Look, here's my argument on it.
So, see, but hold on. Can I talk to
Here's
Raina's
my
one?
argument.
So since you said Raina's real quick. If you told me that, if I'm a stepdad in that situation, I'm out, motherfucker. Those are your kids. Deal with your fucking kids. Find you another man who's willing to come in this relationship with you and your fucking kids.
didn't
But
say all that,
here's the argument though.
Because if I'm coming in, I've accepted you as you are with children. If you're gonna make me an outsider, I'm gonna be an outsider.
Okay,
But she said it more like
Those are her fucking
they're
kids.
her kids.
It was. I was joking.
They're her kids.
I did some ad libs.
What is she saying?
They're her kids.
Say,
Yeah,
it.
but I don't.
At the point where you're a fiance, they're y'all's kids.
But my whole thing is this: is with everything, and once again, it's all about how the story was provided. Prior to the situation. If she's saying this is what's going to happen, hey, just so you know, this is what's going to happen, and a lot of that is all in tone. How are you perceiving it? How is it all being
Well, yeah, and
taken?
that's the thing
Stuff
is,
like that.
with the way Jason reads it,
Oh, of course,
he- yeah,
right.
he
Let's
made- 'cause
not
you saw
go
his,
down, Jason.
In my mind, it was her saying, "Look, this is how it is. This is how it's always been.
It's all
Suck it up."
But
it can be.
that's the question though. What's the problem with that? You are the fiance. Listen, hold on.
That's
You're the
not a good
fiance of
relationship.
4 years.
But-
You're the fiance of 4 years, right? And she says, "Look, you've never been on this family vacation, and this is what goes on. It's a tradition. This is a family thing. The kids get to stay up." And it's fucking midnight. Like they're not.
But if he says, "But I don't agree with that," and you're like, "Well, tough shit." No, we need to talk about this.
I think once again, it's
Or-
all in how it's been, presented and everything.
Maybe at that point, I just choose not to go. But
you know what? I mean, that's that's a good spot.
No, I don't think that's a good spot. If you're going to spend your lives together, there needs to be.
According to this right now, I'm probably not going
I'm
to
probably
spend
not
the rest
spending
of
my
my
life with you.
this person.
Yeah, that's what I'm
anyways.
saying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
way
Is
it
if
came
we
off.
can't talk through this, because I kind of wonder, did he express any concern when she initially said it, or he just showed up and then started acting like an asshole about the kids being up, even though they had talked about it? Did he express concerns? But I mean, overall, he needs to calm down. Sometimes you can eat.
Yeah,
Real quick,
dessert
hold
before
on,
dinner.
real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Man Socks is in the chat.
Hey.
Be in the chat. What up,
What up,
dog?
Hey, so my
Did they-
question is:
Did they give you two hots in the cot? Did he scream when you punched him?
He told us not to say that
Man.
he's in jail in Florida.
God, you
dude.
guys move
Come
so
on.
quick, I forget things. But you had just said something. What was it? What was it you were just saying, Christine?
Damn, put her on the spot.
That they needed to have I'm curious if he had communicated with her when she said what was going to happen, what his
my question
concerns
is
were.
this: is that why did she feel like she had to tell him anything unless he's overpowering in the freaking first place?
Yeah, he seems controlling.
Like he seems exactly.
But
hold on.
She
See,
can't.
to me, that was too hard. That was harsh. Just because the man has a plan doesn't make him necessarily controlling.
Let me say this.
Like, to me,
hold on.
Yeah.
Because Rendell, you love to do that. You get like, yeah. But like my whole thing is this: is that like,
what the fuck was that?
you get aggressive. You get aggressive.
You just did that to her. You told her, "Tell me what you just said."
No,
and in the middle of it, you
I was like, hold on. No, but what I'm trying to say is this: is that like, it's like, why is there such an like, hey, look, you know what? When we do this, we don't do these things. We don't do that. Like, why does she have
you know he's in the structure?
It
Why
sounds
does she
like
have to
she's
make an
just telling
itinerary
him
for
like
it?
this is what happens. But I think like the whole thing about these are her kids. Is he paying the bills for the house that they stay in? Is he picking them up from school? Is he putting
What
food
if
on
he
their
is?
table?
What if he
then
is?
Then
he should get a say-so.
gets a say.
Right.
You can't just say these are my kids when it's convenient and then accept help from him as a parent when you need it. That is
Which
not
goes
how
back
it works.
to this when you said, "Hey, the wife takes care of all the like the doctor, all this other." And who do you ask when I need to go fix the fucking car?
I ask my
men.
dad.
The men.
My dad.
The goddamn men.
Take out the trash.
So okay,
kill that
I
bug.
have a really good one that I
I'm
want.
mad at
I
her.
have a really good one that
Do
I want to
shit.
finish this off with.
All right, let's
Go
go.
ahead.
Before we move on, because this one's bad. It's a very obvious one, but you guys are gonna fucking shit bricks on this one. I swear. What's your verdict? Are you sticking with the she's
No, I at least based on
not the asshole or asshole, just or
she's not-
everyone sucks?
She is not the asshole with a little bit of reasonable doubt.
Not the asshole.
Engineer.
Man, she didn't have to like go off on him like that. She could have just called him an asshole in the car.
She
Something
said
like
she
that.
said private.
It was private.
Oh, it was private?
Yeah.
Shit, go girl. Go do your thing.
Yeah, for me, it's like if you're making passive aggressive comments in front of my in-laws,
And y'all need to get before y'all get married, y'all need to just go ahead and break up.
We are going not the asshole all around the table. Give us a little bam, bam, bam.
You are not the asshole.
We need that right there.
I like that.
All right, so here's a good one, guys.
the asshole.
This one is a very, very easy one. This one's where you guys are gonna shit bricks. All right.
All right.
Am I the
Sound
asshole?
where'd that come from?
Shitting
It sounds like it
bricks?
just hurts. Like who did that? And they're like, man, I'm gonna make that a saying. Shitting bricks.
Shit bricks.
Am I the asshole for accidentally ruining my girlfriend's career?
All right.
How the hell did you do that?
I'm in a tough
was
spot
an
right
accident.
now, and I'm
Accidents
not
happen.
sure if I'm the asshole or not. My girlfriend, 27 female, let's call her Jane, and I, 26 male, have been together for 3 years. She's always been passionate about her job as a teacher and has worked really hard to build up her career. However,
She ain't getting paid shit anyway.
a few weeks ago, I accidentally stumbled upon some photos of Jane on Instagram that I've never seen before. They were pictures of her in some very revealing clothing, and some of them were even nude.
Oh,
On Instagram?
you put that on OnlyFans, girl. Make some
I was
money
shocked.
off it. Damn.
And I confronted her about it, and she told me that she used to be a lingerie model before becoming a teacher. She said she stopped doing it because she didn't want it to affect her career, and she thought I knew about it already. I didn't know how to react at first, but eventually I fucked up and told one of my friends about it. A few of my friends, actually.
Oh, you're a dick.
One of my friends is a gossiper and ended up telling someone who works at the school with Jane, where Jane teaches.
Busting his ass.
Long story short, the photo somehow got into the hands of the school board, weird, and Sarah was fired for unprofessional behavior. Sarah is devastated and blames me for ruining her career. She says that I should have kept my fucking blabbermouth shut and that I betrayed her trust.
Hey, Sarah, when you quit doing this shit, you should have probably stopped doing it.
I feel terrible about what happened, but I didn't know that it would lead to this. Am I the asshole for accidentally ruining my girlfriend's career?
Shit, you a whole bitch for that one.
Really?
Bro. Yeah, that's fucked up. Like, one, it's okay, you know. But then why are you going telling all your friends?
Yeah, that's kinda weird.
Are you boasting about, oh, look at my girl's pictures? Fucking, what are you doing?
That's weird, right?
Yeah.
Unless she's like a model.
You trying to become a cuck or what?
He shouldn't have never ran off and did anything like that. But at the same time, it's like, why didn't she take the pictures down at a certain point, or put them? Why are they to the point where they could be easily seen? Becomes another question.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, let me ask you a question.
There's questions
How
I have
many
for her.
Facebook profiles do you have out there?
I have one. I'm not one of those people. I was just making fun. I was just thinking about it today when I was tagging people.
I got a shitload of
like,
probably.
I was like, it's always the motherfucker, the most iffy motherfuckers I know always got a multiple profiles.
Okay,
except for my grandma. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
But if
none of
I
them got a
but if
picture.
I'm doing something revealing or something that I may later down the road be something like, man, this could be a gray zone, especially if it could affect a career that I'm trying to do.
Archive your shit.
Then you know what? I'm sorry, man. I'm probably like, hey, look. You know, I've closed that part of my life down, or whatever the case is.
I don't get why she's fired, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk about the actual issue,
Nobody
which
said
is
she did.
why.
Did she get fired?
Yeah, she said they fired her.
It said
Yeah.
she might.
She needs to file a
she
lawsuit.
Said, he said that she was fired for doing what was it? What was this part there?
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Let me go back.
This is her past life.
So, long story short, the photos somehow got into the hands of the school board, and Sarah was fired for unprofessional behavior.
But that's some bullshit because she's not at work unless they have some kind of morality clause or some shit in her contract. Even if it wasn't in the past, even if it was current, who the hell are they to tell her what she can do in her own time? That's crazy.
We got the woman
What are
behind the
teachers
man in the
making,
chat right now, Mrs. Shelton in the chat.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah, she'd be making $45,000 a year. Maybe if you pay her better, then she doesn't need to put pictures like that out there. How about that? Give her a raise, call it good.
That's right. If you gave her more money for her teaching plans, maybe she wouldn't have an OnlyFans.
Hey, I gotta
Another rhyme.
I gotta am I the asshole, but it should be like a quick one.
Okay.
Curious for you guys.
Okay.
this is
Are
real
we
life.
going-
Are you-
is man asshole? Is the guy the asshole?
Yeah, he's an asshole. I told you he's a whole bit. He has a whole new rating. He is a bitch for that.
Bitch.
Big.
Nah, I think he's dumb as shit for doing that, but I don't think he's an asshole. It wasn't intentional for that to happen. I think the problem is bigger than the dude.
Mr. Engineer, what do you
Asshole.
think? Man?
I think he should have confronted her directly first.
He did.
He did.
And then he kept going with it.
Then he's sorry.
Then he got loosey goosey.
Yeah.
Can I get?
Yeah, I'm running asshole on this one too. All right, so
All right,
hit us with
so-
the situation.
So
Whoa, what was that?
We need that one right there.
all right, so
Let it go in here.
It was bad.
So I don't have all the details that you have, but dude takes this girl on a date. That's their first date, and they get to talking, and the subject of exes comes up, and the girl asks the guy, "Am I prettier than your ex?"
Asshole.
Lie.
Dude says, "Nope." Is he the asshole?
No.
Do you want? Like, here's the thing.
Like,
Women are always saying that men are liars. He was honest. Is he wrong for being honest? Yeah, I'm telling you now. If you were trying to hit it, you stupid
as shit, yeah.
Because that was never going to go right.
so this is the first date, right?
First
date.
Yeah, first date.
And you're gonna bring.
No
shit
matter
up
if it was
like
the third
like-
date, you could never answer that question.
I think they like knew each other prior. You know, they were like friends or worked together or something. But this was the first
I'd be
date.
like, have
and
you
they sit
seen
down
my
and they're
ex?
talking.
Have you seen her?
I think she had.
I would
She
have to
had
ask.
seen
The,
it.
I would
I
have
would
to
say,
ask
look.
the question like, which ex?
My ex is my. I'd say my ex is my ex. Let's not talk about her. Let's talk about me and you.
Yeah. Why bring up the past?
So the question
That's
is
smooth as
the guy
shit.
is the guy the asshole? Absolutely not.
Yeah, she asked.
Don't
He's not
ask
an
the
asshole.
question.
She
Don't
asked for it.
Don't ask
Don't ask
questions
the
you
question
don't
you-
want answers
yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. Now the guy's like you said, the guy's dumb.
Yeah,
as
he's
fuck.
dumb.
If
Right.
he's trying
He's not
to,
an asshole.
if he's trying to get the sugar walls, like you lied.
Sugar walls
bro.
are gone.
Yeah,
No more sugar walls for you,
Bro, you're gonna be like grandpa in that one scenario. You're gonna be watching the porn, bro.
Yep,
You mess yourself up.
I'm gonna porn up the laptop real quick.
got a virus.
The virus. Oof.
Bro, you gotta lie. See, that's the thing. Women don't realize, like, well, women will be like, men are all liars. But sometimes because you motherfuckers
Yeah,
force
but
us to lie.
I don't think we say that when you tell us that we look good in something that we don't really look good in. Like
My
I don't
wife
think-
looks good in everything.
Damn
damn
right
it.
she does.
Everything.
Because the goal is to get them out of
But
it.
you know how I know, like, sometimes I'll do something stupid like make my hair look stupid or do something dumb with my makeup and then ask my
And
husband.
that's your husband. Like, you know, I look like
Beautiful.
pure shit.
But no,
Beautiful. I'm like, you fucking
Here-
liar.
But here's the thing, though, because like my girlfriend has definitely said stuff like that too. She's like, "You're biased." Like I'm over here looking like a fucking idiot, and you're saying I look beautiful. It's because you're biased. But for me personally, it's like you're acting like a fucking fool. I think that shit's attractive. So yeah, motherfucker, I still think you're beautiful, even though you're going.
Well,
like I think
it's
like,
really because
and it's not
your
because-
self-esteem it's my job to keep your self-esteem up.
But it's
even
not
when
even-
you're wrong
it's
as a
not even-
motherfucker, I still got to protect your
But
self-esteem.
see, it's not even that. Like, if you're comfortable enough to be that way around me, like that to me, I find that attractive. So yes, you can.
Okay,
Your
okay.
hair's fucked up. Like, God, you got the morning breath on. I'm gonna be like, dude, like,
No, hold on, stop that shit.
I'm
There ain't nothing attractive about you being
using. No, I'm
ridiculous.
just using the examples. But I'm just saying, like, if you're willing to be that comfortable with me and you're gonna be like acting a fool, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna still find you attractive.
If you're gonna spend a long time with somebody, you start to realize that it's like I don't expect you to always be at your best, but you just being you is exactly what you're saying. It's beautiful.
Damn.
Gag me with a
You
spoon.
can't. Like, I'm sorry,
this-
man, but you just can't always be at your best.
Yeah. That just felt like a Lifetime movie right there.
doesn't-
You just said.
I mean, maybe, but that's real though. You know, you're not
I
going to be with
don't
somebody
expect you
for
always
10
to be at
years
your
and be
best.
on your A game.
What did you say? What was the second half of that? The first part, yes. I don't expect you to always be your best, but and I love you no matter what. Even having that moment, I'm like, God damn, your breath stink. Right?
Shut the fuck up.
Kissing you is not what I'm looking forward to doing right now. She said, "What it is? My breath probably stink too, and I don't expect you to want to kiss my ass while my breath stinks." Let's just be honest with each other. That's what I think. And the greatest thing that I've ever realized in my relationship and the difference between my relationship with my wife and any other relationship is the level of honesty. Even though sometimes I'm like, maybe we've gone too far. I know too damn much. Matter of fact, I realized today, I'm not going to go too crazy because my wife's going to be like, how dare you? But there was this thing that was clearly meant to, like, make men uncomfortable. And it was like telling all these inner secrets about women. And I'm like, oh, I know that one already. And that one, I was like, I'm not uncomfortable with this in any way. Every one of these things, my wife's already told me this shit. And I get it.
Oh, like different things that happen,
like women,
different things that happen to women.
Women, yeah. Well, and just how y'all think, and that men don't realize. I'm like, oh, already there's. I know exactly how. I don't know. Like, I can't say, oh, I know everything about women's. I just know way more than most men understand after being married to a woman for as long as I've been married. Right? And like, you're not going to get that. You could be in a ton of relationships. You could be in. Oh, I've been in different relationships for 20 years. Yeah, but you don't get the
But
same
you never
level.
get past that level.
Yeah, there's a certain level that you get. The further you go, like first she farts in front of you. The next thing you know, this shit's like she's expecting you to stand
don't close the bathroom
She wants you
door.
to stand in the restroom while she shits and stuff. Like what are we doing here? Even my wife would never do that. My wife is
No, we don't.
She is
do
too
that.
much of a lady. But my brother-in-law and sister be doing that shit. I'm like, what are you doing? You stinky mofos talking to each other right now?
Just breathing in the
They're,
particles.
they're another level of comfort.
So, any other questions?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So if you listen, or you listen now, or if you listen later, feel free to go in the comments and tell us how you feel. You can just number them, scenario 1, or you can call them, porn grandpa, over controlling stepdad, and what else did we have? We had
Over controlling pouty ass bitch stepdad.
yeah. Well, that's the same one.
I know. I was just,
And then
First date.
What
was the first
first
one?
date? And the first one was controlling your Indian.
no, there was the other one. The picture one. The teacher got fired picture. I'm a little bitch.
Oh yeah. Talking too much to your buddies. I still think that's weird as shit.
It is.
Look how hot my girl is. Nah.
Alrighty, guys. Well,
You know what? Hey, plug in one more time the event that's coming up.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, again, we're going to be giving away tickets. All you have to do is like our page, like the Pop Studios page, and comment in the comments of any of the videos. Which we'll look, and we will pick a winner to win tickets to Dia de las Luchas Doble on Saturday, April 1st at the Rialto Theater. You're going to have some luchador wrestling. You can get to listen to some shrimp chaperone, which is surf rock. I believe that's what it is. And have yourself a good time.
peace.
And if you're on a date, whatever you do, just tell her she looks better than
Just
your
lie.
ex-girlfriend.
Just lie.
Lie.
Get
Every
them
time.
sugar walls.
They think you're a liar, lie to them. They like it.